Hey party people. This video is going to go over how to make your designs more figure flattering for different shapes and sizes, especially plus size. But here's the thing. When I give tips on how to create figure flattering styles, I'm not suggesting that everyone has to dress this way or that I'm body shaming. I am saying there is definitely a significant demographic of women who want to buy figure flattering looks, and this applies to women of any size. Here's the deal. I have a ton of design tutorials that apply to all bodies. All of my design videos apply to all bodies. Just this video is specifically about figure flattering design techniques, right? Now, I hate the term plus size because it's a term that compares instead of describing, but we're going to use the term because, simple communication, blah, blah, blah. Design and product development are two different things. People think you can take a design and grade it up and up and up and you can dress plus size women, but that's not true at all. You cannot grade it infinity times. There are specific construction concerns specific to plus, so drop me a comment if you want a video on that. Give this video a thumbs up if you want more design videos, and let's get going. One last note, if you want this croquis template that I'm sketching on right now, you can get your own at shop.zoehong.com. I'll drop a link somewhere. Okay, on to the tips, in no particular order. Tip number 1, use a 40-60 proportion. The basic premise is that rectangles are slimmer than squares, and 40-60 is closer to the golden ratio. So things that are just split right in the middle, especially if you have like a significant contrast that makes the split, the 50-50 split, more obvious, tends to make the figure look squatter, like little squares, whereas a 40-60 will elongate. And on that same principle, number 2, when you're dividing across your garment, use a 50-50 proportion. That is more flattering because you're getting longer, slimmer rectangles. And often double-breasted jackets and coats widen a figure. You remember all those European runways that had all those super skinny European boys wearing tons of double-breasted suits and they looked amazing? Yeah, because they're so skinny. Okay? Princess seams are great on skirts and dresses, and shoulder princesses elongate more than armhole princess seams. Armhole princess seams are great if you want to widen the shoulder a little bit because of that line directional. Okay. Tip number 3, choose vertical and diagonal lines for style lines, for shapes, and for contrast panels. You want to choose horizontal lines and shapes strategically where you want to look wider to create the look that you're going for. Maybe you want to balance a pear-shaped figure by strengthening the shoulders. Okay. For verticals, you can use pleats, gathers, gores, stripes, plackets emphasized by extra top stitching and contrast. And for diagonals, you can use wraps, crisscrossing around the waist, lots of different V-neck styles, deep V's, short V's, shawl collars, that sort of thing. Bias style lines, ruffles that run on the diagonal, all these sort of diagonal shaping, V's and X's wrapping around the body are very flattering. Number 4, darker and cool colors recede, make things look smaller. And lighter and warm colors come forward. Okay, so when you're choosing your colors and you want to work with color blocking on a dress or putting colors together in an outfit, okay, choose your color placements carefully for the effect that you want. Okay, in this demo, I'm placing the black where I want things to be smaller. I'm placing things in a blue to make things less prominent. The red are areas I want to highlight. The white, definitely those are the spots that are going to look the largest. Related to that, shiny textures look bigger and matte textures, they don't look smaller. They don't just make you look bigger though by themselves. Okay, so use your fabric choices strategically. Like, where do you want the shiny satin? Where do you want the all over sequins? Where do you want that focus where you don't mind or you want it to look bigger than the rest? And where do you want the chiffon, the matte jersey, the denim, all those matte fabrics? Number 5, use contrast in color or texture to guide your eye. You can use contrast bands, bias binding, or piping to emphasize style lines so that, again, you're creating the shapes for the eye to follow. Number 6, create focal points with special design details or embellishments to direct your eye. So if you like a certain part of your body, or if you want to emphasize the bust or emphasize the shoulders, sprinkle that area with some beads, some sequins, so that area gets the highlight. Okay. In this dress, I'm creating kind of an X look with the beading and with the twist to create more of an hourglass figure. And number 7, scale up your design details. Okay. This is especially one of those things where grading doesn't really get the job done. Okay. You're scaling up your design details. That has nothing to do with the size. Okay. And I have these plus size women's flats templates at my shop too, shop.zoehong.com. Anyway, the embellishments and design details, when they look proportionately too small with the rest of the garment, it just looks cheap, okay? It doesn't flatter the figure, but really it makes the garment look cheap. So you want to be careful of that. And my biggest design pet peeve is when people don't grade the pockets up to make the butt look good. Okay? Skinny waistbands for plus size are a big no in terms of both design and construction. Okay? Scaling up top stitching also looks great for more casual styles. Use a thicker top stitching thread and maybe fewer stitches per inch so that each stitch is a little bit longer and fatter, and so another scaled up design detail. And those are my design tips for today. Please give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new today. Share, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you want a video on construction considerations on plus size clothes. And I'll see you in the next video.